The dorm kitchen hums with a dull neon light, that kind of low, throbbing buzz that settles into your temples like a blue wasp. I'm standing by the sink, half drunk on instant coffee and sleep deprivation, staring at the film curdling at the bottom of my mug. Outside the window, that long aquarium-like corridor, the emergency light flickers in and out. A round, crater-like bulb, pulsing like it's trying to remember how to be useful. Everything feels washed out, drawn in blurred graphite on cardboard. My phone jumps across the linoleum. Mom. The screen glows an icy green, like a slice of frozen time. I know today's the final deadline for my term paper. I know I should stop everything and pick up, but my fingers are already drifting toward the red icon, first in my head, then in real life. I hear myself say it, short and tired. Later, my thumb lands on decline. Click. Silence. The light over the stove flickers once, casting a long, trembling shadow across the tiles. I listen. The dorm has gone dead silent. Even the fridge seems to have hit mute, like someone spun the world's volume dial to 0. Only my heartbeat pounds against my ribs like a drum line. I set the mug in the sink. The faucet hisses a lazy trickle, and then the lights go out. Not the usual sharp click of a circuit trip. No. This is slower, like a flame swallowing a page. The white neon thins to ash-gray filament, and the filament dissolves into black. Sound dies with the light. Even the water droplets hanging in midair seem to stop smacking against metal. I stretch my hand forward. Darkness devours it instantly. Then, without warning, my phone buzzes. No ringtone, just a tremor in my palm. The screen lights up. No name, just the time. DOO. Like the universe has hit reset. I don't have time to answer. The screen goes black. The silence thickens. And then, a noise. Faint, but sharp. A dry, scratching sound, like nails dragging across tile, coming from the grout lines under my feet. The bulb above trembles one last time, spilling a strip of dim light across the floor. And there, where the smooth tiles should be, blurry black handprints begin to show through, pressed from beneath, as if the entire floor has turned into glass, and under it, a sea of the drowned. The hands move in slow unison, scraping along the seams, leaving streaks of black dust in the grout like ashes. I back up. My spine hits the cold stove. A low vibration begins somewhere deep in the kitchen. My phone comes alive again. The screen slices through the dark. Mom, incoming call, but this time, there's new text beneath her name. Please pick up. It's dark. I'm scared. A voice in my head whispers, pick it up. But my fingers freeze. The red button is closer. The walls groan, like old hospital doors. The shadows beneath the floor press harder. The darkness pulses, breathes. Another second, and the hands will shatter the surface, break through. The silence screams at me, answer! The room tilts, like the kitchen's become a space lock, a pressure hatch dangling above endless night. The phone shakes violently, nearly slipping from my grip, and finally, I shove my thumb away from the red and tap the green. Mom, I'm here, I whisper. Light explodes. Clean, surgical white. The tiles are back, pure, unbroken. No black dust. Water drips lazily in the sink. The fridge hums. The exhaust fan sucks greasy air into the vent. The phone lies silent in my hand. Call history is blank. The last log, a pizza delivery from yesterday. No call from Mom, not today. I stand there trembling. The spoon in my mug clinks with the shaking. Inside, there's nothing. Not relief. Just the raw, sanded-over edge where my thoughts used to be. Far down the hallway, somewhere past the other dorm doors, I hear the soft click of the corridor light switching on. And I know. This kitchen won't trap me again. I blink, and the yellow-stained ceiling of the dorm kitchen splits into long fluorescent light tubes. Buzzing, flickering, they stretch in an endless row overhead. The floor is no longer linoleum. It's that rough, worn school tile from years ago, still smelling faintly of dried bleach. A hallway from my teenage years. Lockers rise on both sides, dull blue, each one dented like a kicked-in ribcage. I'm standing in the spot where the ceiling light always flickered, a pocket of half-shadow between classes. There's an old bandage on my wrist from a sprain, like 10 years have peeled away. I'm 16 again, and a knot of cold, dirty fear sits in my gut. At the end of the hall, metal slams. 2 upperclassmen, Travis and Dale, shoulders broader than they ever were, though now they should be pudgy 30-something administrators. One of them yanks the backpack from John Parks, my desk mate back then. The bag slices through the air and lands with a wet slap in a puddle of janitor's detergent. John bends to protect his glasses, but they fly off, skittering into the same murky pool. A wet snap, like black glass cracking. I pretended not to see it. I walked past, clutching a book to my chest. My heartbeat thundered in my ears, but I chose silence. Now the hallway loops, slam, splash, snap, then rewind, like the world spooling backward. Click. John walks again, unaware. Click, backpack. Splash, glass. Click, reset. Each cycle the corridor fades. The colors drain, like someone stripping away the RGB channels of reality. The buzz from the lights grows louder, rattling in my teeth. I try walking toward the back door. My feet sink, as if all 26 years of me are being sucked into this sticky floor. I pass the boiler room. The world clicks, and I'm standing in the middle of the hallway again. Another cruel joke from memory. The third rewind brings things that weren't real before. A dark, watery smear trails behind John's shoes. He staggers as he picks up the backpack, but a long, sticky shadow rises from the puddle. A hand made of darkness. It grabs the straps and pulls them back. John sobs silently. His lips flap like a fish, gasping at dry air. The lockers breathe, swelling, deflating, like the lungs of a dying school. Loose notebook pages squirt from the gaps, skittering across the floor like tiny white fish. From the old intercom, a crackle of reversed radio static, impossible to decipher. Just scrambled words melting backwards. I press myself against the wall. My heart hammers like it's trying to shatter my chest. I know. To break the loop, I have to interfere. The outcome is obvious, but my body trembles. My legs weigh a ton, full of molten lead. Slam, splash, crack. Fog rolls thick across the floor. Travis and Dale's voices turn syrupy, filtered through cotton. They laugh, a dry rattle, like beans in a baby's rattle. Inside the noise, I hear my own blood. I breathe in. Oxygen slices my throat like a burn. I raise the backpack like a shield and step forward, one heavy foot at a time. The air resists. It feels like I'm walking against a jet engine. Travis turns, halfway, but his face collapses into the shadow of his hoodie. No eyes, just a mouth. A warped, black omega, dripping tar. He grins. A flurry of wings bursts from his lips. A stone-cold chill climbs my spine. I hear my voice, but it sounds like someone else. Enough. The word drops like a boulder. Behind me, the wall erupts in violet, a flash like a fire alarm beacon. The corridor shudders, as if some unseen hand squeezes it tight. Lockers slam shut. Grout seams swell into a jagged windrose pattern beneath my feet. A crack splits through the violet light. The world shatters, and through the fracture pours a dead white light. Travis and Dale dissolve into it. Their outlines turn to ash. Behind them, nothing, not even darkness. Just blank, pure void. In that final glow, I see John. He stands upright. His glasses are whole. His face, tired beyond years, but calm. He nods, and his shape vanishes in the white. The corridor dies. Lights pop in a silent burst of sparks. Only the puddle flickers now, pink and empty. The school bell rings, screeching loud, as if inside my skull. I stop. My chest hollows, but it's a quiet hollow. Not guilt, just exhaustion. A violet spotlight pools on the floor, like a theater cue. It pulls me forward. The passage is narrow. Where it leads, I can't tell. The sharp screech of the school bell dies out, and I feel like I'm falling into a black well, but there's no impact at the bottom, just a gust of gasoline-warm air, the hum of 4 tires, and the low broken bass of a stereo system. The dash lights read 2:14 a.m. Beyond the windshield, a barcode of rain and the faded line of I-84, where the headlights cut through fog like a scalpel tearing wet gauze. To my left, behind the wheel, Nate, my old buddy from engineering school, a Raiders cap. White-knuckled fingers gripping the wheel. In real life, that was our last ride together, and I still remember clinging to the seatbelt as he floored it like he was racing the night itself. The beat in the speakers chokes, in bass, and cuts out. The stereo jumps to static, a hiss, like electric rainfall. I know what comes next. The green glow of the exit 47 sign, a flash of reflectors, and then the dark blur at the roadside. A cyclist. Too late to react. Through the hum of rain comes a familiar sound, the thin creak of the windshield wiper, and the warped echo of my name. Not from Nate, not from the radio, but from the road itself, hissing through the cracks in the asphalt. J-E-F. The loop has already begun. I try to speak, try to warn him, but my voice is swallowed by the slap of tires on water. Brakes scream. The moment stretches like wet rubber. A frozen second of screech, then impact. Plastic crunching. A spiderweb blooms across the windshield. Outside, metal clatters on wet gravel. Then, silence. Floating, unnatural silence. My own breath the only sound. Nate curses under his breath, squeezing the wheel like he can twist reality back by force. We keep driving, okay? He whispers. Nobody's out here, man. No one saw. I remember how I said nothing. The car surged forward, leaving behind a small lump, lit red in the brake lights. Blood on the asphalt looked just like another rain puddle. The scene stretches all the way to the next highway marker, exit 48, and vanishes. A beat of emptiness. Then everything resets. 2:14. The bass, the hiss, the creak of the wiper, the loop locks in place. Second run-through. Everything's sharper, like someone cranked the contrast. Rain needles the windshield. Luces de emergencia blink more violently. When the cyclist emerges from the dark, I see his face. A teenager in a yellow raincoat, mouth half open, like he's singing in the downpour. The crash this time sounds different. Not an impact, but the brittle snap of a filament, like someone twisting a light bulb out of its socket. Then silence, the kind that freezes your fingers. Nobody saw, Nate murmurs again, but in my head, I hear a different truth. Someone saw. I did. The loop breaks again. Third cycle. Now the car smells like ozone and burnt plastic. The exact smell of a server room after a short circuit. The smell of my guilt. I know it from dreams. My hands cling to the phone in my hoodie pocket. The plastic feels like a slick, living thing. I know what to do. A voice deep in my subconscious gave me the instructions. Grab it. Dial 911. Tell the truth. Say it out loud. But hearing my own voice, that's scarier than the sound of metal colliding. This time the loop adds a new horror. After the hit, the boy's face doesn't vanish from the rearview mirror. Instead, it rises, slowly, like an image in water refusing to follow the laws of reflection. His eyes shine, 2 hollow beams of headlight. He's not alive, but he sees, a faint clatter, like 1,000 bike chains snapping on concrete. I scream, "Stop, Nate!" My words clang like metal, echoing through the car, and for the first time, memory disobeys itself. The car screeches, stops. The wipers freeze mid-arc. Like time has slipped off its track. My hands shake, but the phone is already in my palm. The numbers, 9 to 1-1, glow red like emergency flares. Nate stares at me, wide-eyed. What the hell are you doing? We We have to. My voice breaks into fragments. We have to help him. I hit call. The dial tone stretches forever. A tunnel of sound. The boy's face in the mirror melts in the rain. The speaker clicks. Emergency services. What is your location? And the words spill from my mouth like a confession. I-84. Near exit 47. We hit a cyclist. It's our fault. Please send an ambulance. Each sentence feels like coming up for air after being underwater too long. But when I say our fault, the world shifts. The scream of tires quiets. Raindrops on the glass freeze, like the storm hit pause. Ahead, the fallen shape on the asphalt begins to move. Slowly, like time is winding in reverse, the boy pushes himself up on his elbows. Turns his head. The xenon headlights stretch pale beams across the road. Now the puddle beneath him is no longer red. It's silvery gray, like mercury. He sits up, stares into the lights, like someone trying to remember a dream. Then he fades, melts into mist, and the road is empty, except for the bike, lying there, glittering with rain. Sirens, faint at first, fire and EMS. But the sound isn't coming toward us. It's burrowing into me. A piercing alarm stitching closed a tear in memory. A white spotlight grows out of nowhere. A camera flash, blinding. I blink, and the car, the night, the storm. They all vanish, like a pencil sketch erased from the page. The hum of the engine fades into another kind of hum, one that belongs to hospital corridors and locked dreams. There's a vibration in the air, a distant heartbeat. My eyelids are heavy, like soaked towels. I step forward, and under my feet, no more asphalt. Only a soft carpet, muted wool loops cushioning each step. The smell changes, a surreal blend, black tea, medicinal syrup, and hidden deep beneath, the faint scent of bathroom bleach. A familiar hallway unfolds, the one from that rental apartment. Midday sun flickers in memory, but another loop is forming. A girl will wait on the other end of the line, and water will begin to trickle under the door, cold as someone else's tears. I watch the white light shrink into a doorway ahead. The white spotlight flickers out, like someone dropped a bulb into thick, milky fog. When the diffused glow fades, I find myself standing on a narrow strip of carpet. That same corridor apartment we once rented for 6 months, a kind of memory island. To the left, a dim paper lampshade sways gently. The pull string buzzes like a dying fly. To the right, the kitchen. It smells like black tea with bergamot and sweet strawberry cough syrup. But behind those smells, there's another. Faint, almost hidden. Bleach and wet tile. A metallic taste creeps up my throat. The phone in my palm lights up on its own. A red-white video call frame trembling like a heartbeat. On the screen, Emma. The name hits my chest like a weight. The chat I never opened. I take a step toward the bedroom. The floorboards creak, soft, pleading, like a cat scratching at the door. With each step, a thin trail of water stretches from the bathroom, cold as glass, slowly growing, as if the entire floor of the building is filling, with tears too large to measure. The ringtone crackles. I glance at the screen. Talk to me. A message appears, a trembling plea. The video feed jitters, connecting. But my finger disobeys. It just slides toward the red, decline. The moment I touch it, the hallway light dies. A soft clicking rises from the dark. Not water, but phone buttons. Tiny, dry. Another stream of water creeps under the bathroom door. With it slides a pale piece of paper, soaked around the edges. One word, smeared in wet ink. Listen. The world jumps, and I'm standing at the start of the carpet again. The call pulsing. The water thin and quiet. The word, gone. I breathe out mist, like the room's dropped below freezing. On the walls, jagged letters bleed through like mold, LISTEN. They squirm, like worms in raw meat. The phone buzzes harder. The red frame flares bright. I press decline again. Crack. The hallway shudders. Walls stretching backward so fast the paint rips off in flakes of dust. Water blasts out from beneath the bathroom door. Murky, cold, biting my ankles. Floating on the surface, Emma's phone. The one with the gold case. The screen is cracked. Behind the glass, a video feed bubbles. Her face underwater, eyes open. I blink, and everything resets. The lamp flickers. The bergamot returns. The loop is cracking, close to tearing. No wasted motion. My hand trembles, but this time, I hit accept. A long pause tone. The screen shifts. No video. Just grainy static and a loading bar. The white noise of an ocean made of dust fills the room. And then, piercing through it like a whisper-threaded needle, her voice. "Do you hear me?" "I'm here," I say. The words crumble, like wet chalk. The kitchen cabinets start to rattle, but I don't look. I hold her voice in my eyes. "It's so dark. I don't know where I—" Her voice cracks, phrase. "I'm with you," I say. And I realize it's not a promise. It's a confession. Because back then, I wasn't. Water creeps higher, ice cold. But now it doesn't crush, just curls around my legs like a patient little animal. "Say something, before it's too late." "I see you. I'm listening." Inside my head something sparks, like someone struck a lost match in a deep tunnel. A breath escapes the speaker. Soft. Real. "Thank you." The video remains blank, but a single vertical crack runs down the screen, and then, the water vanishes, gone through the cracks in the floor, as if a massive floodgate had opened below. The word "listen" fades from the walls. The phone resets, back to the home screen. A photo of the sky, cloudless, empty. I lower my hand. The silence isn't dead, it's post-storm silence, fragile. It smells like ozone and new floorboards. Far off, the apartment building's main door slams. A draft drifts in, damp wood and something older. And out of the dark hallway slides a rectangle, not just a door, but a memory, a heavy slab of oak banded in rusted iron. I know that wood, the basement door, the one from the house I grew up in, where the workshop light always flickered like a pale moon, where I'd go trembling when voices upstairs turned sharp and the plate started to rattle. The wood looks wet, like someone just peeled the frost off it. The crack beneath it is black as tar. Behind it, the soft rattle of a chain, the clink of glass. I take a breath. Inside, where the water used to be, there's something heavier now, a weight, not grief, but density. Another loop waits, the deepest one, the oldest echo. The basement's outline darkens, and I step toward the doors, scented with pine resin and the long, heavy night. The oak door breathes, rising and falling like some beast about to exhale. I touch the cold handle. My finger burns like it brushed a car battery. In the dark, an echo tightens. Fractured voices swirl just out of reach. A hoarse male rasp, a sharp female edge, each phrase cracking like a vinyl record under a worn-out needle. I can't make out the words, but my skin remembers the vibrations. Goosebumps crawl across my arms. I lower the latch. The door yields, opening into wet darkness. A thick smell seeps out. Scorched kerosene, damp wood, and something sweet and spoiled, like jam left in the heat too long. A bulb swings on a long wire from the ceiling, casting a pale ellipse that barely lights part of the stairs. Below, a shaft of pure black. I descend. Each step creaks, a tired complaint. From above, a bottle shatters, glass against countertop, and a phrase cuts off mid-scream. The bulb flickers, shadows fill the room below in a blink. It's my father's workshop, the lathe, the stepladder, the heavy bottle of homemade wine on the bench. As a child, I used to hide behind the potato sacks and listen as my parents carved the night apart with their voices. There's a click, a shift in the loop. My father's footsteps, heavy, staggering. Silence crumbles. He grabs the wine bottle, taps it with a key, then hurls it. The ceiling light shatters, a flash of white, then silence, sharp as broken bone. I feel it. 7-year-old me, curled in the corner, toy car dropped, palms clamped over his ears. From that hiding spot comes a sound, a whimper, thinner than a cricket's legs. Please, stop. But the scene dissolves, as if soaked into photo paper, and I'm back at the top of the stairs. The smell of kerosene, the cry of glass. This time the bottle falls slower, thickened by syrupy air. When it hits, it doesn't spill wine, but thick, black tar. The liquid crawls outward, sketching a labyrinth across the floor. The walls begin to breathe, planks bend, knots bulge, as if the house itself is alive and bones beneath the skin begin to twitch. Glass shards flare with green fluorescence, then melt, leaving behind a high glassy chime that dissolves mid-air. The child me crouches again, his eyes huge and glossy like a beetle's, catching what little light there is. The recipe for fear is simple. A child knows the world is breaking, and there's nowhere left to hide. Behind him, my father swells into shadow, head warped, face replaced by the wine bottle. Tar pours from the neck, burning holes through the wood, where it drips. He raises a hand. The room erases itself. The basement stretches, no longer a room, but a tunnel, a throat lined with mold. The light trembles crimson. Along the walls, dozens of doors, all oak. Each opens to the same moment. Father, bottle, glass, mother's scream, all at once. Mirrors of pain multiplying. The hum deepens, a low choking sound like a plane diving toward blackout. And I know. I can't just watch anymore. It's time to break the frame. I push through the tar-slick floor. It clings to my shoes, pulling back like oily cords. I crawl toward the child. He folds in tighter, neck hunched, palms still over ears, fingers trembling with helplessness. Father's shadow groans, the sound leaking through the bottle's neck like a curse. The hand rises again. I kneel beside the boy. His eyes are twin orbs of static lightning. The bottle swings. The air reeks of vinegar and fear. I cup my hands over the boy's ears. They're tiny, hot. I feel his heart thudding through my fingers. I lean close and whisper, "This is not your fault. You're going to make it. I'm here." The words come out muffled, as if I'm speaking through dirt, but each T and V hits like a hammer. The labyrinth shudders. Father's shadow spasms. Tar ribbons snap mid-air and hit the ground, drying instantly into ash flakes. The glass shatters sound frays, like cassette tape unraveling in a cheap player. A spotlight ignites, not a bulb, but a beam from above, pure and chlorine white. It splits the room. Everything dark, everything tar, everything bottle, melts in fire. A tone rings out, sharp and too perfect to be heard. The child looks up, no longer insect-eyed, just confused, surprised. He lets go of his ears. He takes my hand. Our fingers clasp, and the line between us melts. Something clicks inside my chest, like an old lock finally breaking free. The light intensifies, no more air. I pull the boy in, and feel him dissolve, a warmth against my ribs. No weight, just feather. The basement fades, walls crumbling to dust. No stairs, no doors, only white emptiness, humming a single note, one tone below my heartbeat. Flash. White sound becomes rhythm, a tick, tick. My chest lifts, heavy but free. The air is clean, smells of alcohol wipes and fresh paper. My eyelids flutter, the shadows scatter. Above me, a ceiling light, still, circular, no sway. Beneath my fingers, a soft chair arm. The carpet beneath my feet, warm. In front of me, a man in glasses turns off a small metronome lamp. He looks calm, measured. "How do you feel?" His voice floats. No echo. Somewhere in the back of my head, glass still rings, but deeper still I know the stairs are gone. If you made it all the way to the end, then you're exactly the kind of person I'm looking for. Hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to me. I hope I can keep bringing you more stories to make you smile, or maybe to scare you.